Okay, so what kind of situation do we currently have on GBP USD? Now, if you remember from our previous analysis on this pair, what did we say? We said, first of all, after the market has created this very nice M formation, retesting exactly this previous resistance here, now turns support, we definitely want to see the market make the move to the upside to complete the pattern at the neckline. And in fact, that is exactly what the market did. I really suggest you go and rewatch that full breakdown. You find it linked in description. So now that the market has completed the pattern that we wanted the market to complete, what is next? Okay, where is the next opportunity for GBP USD? Now, first of all, let's identify the structure from a daily perspective. We know, as we said, that this was the target zone that we wanted the market to hit. So the previous support here now turned resistance from a daily perspective. Now keep in mind that if we go and see what we have on the weekly time frame, we can notice, as we had already noticed in the previous analysis, that this structure here, which was the target on the daily, is a very strong historical structure level for this market. In fact, it was acting as very strong support here, against support here, against support, broke it to the downside, turned resistance, broke back above with this candle, retested as support, broke to the downside, was acting as resistance, fake breakout to the upside. And by the way, we definitely wanted to see from here the move to the downside. I will link that analysis in description as well. From here, if you remember, we said we definitely wanted to see the move to the downside for the completion of the W formation. The market broke the zone back to the downside, which is now acting as resistance. So at the moment, this strong weekly structure is acting as resistance. So back on the daily time frame, we have a confluence of resistance here from a daily and weekly perspective. In fact, we definitely expected after the completion of the pattern to see from here a shift to the downside. That is what we spoke about yesterday on YouTube. So how we will be approaching this situation with students? First of all, if you have an impulse in the market that creates a lower low, in this case, the lower low went also to test the completion zone of the M formation, as we had said. But in general, if you have an impulse in the market, if you want to measure the retracement, what are you supposed to be doing? Taking your Fibonacci on the impulse. And what we can see, we consider the structure here was in between the 50% and 0.618, creating a confluence of resistance from which the market showed this rejection. Now let's go and see what we have from a COT perspective, so commitment of traders. What big banks and institutions are currently doing on the pound, specifically on GBP USD. In fact, if we check the COT data for the GBP, what we are actually checking is GBP USD, because all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD. So what we can see here, we can see that with the last reports, we went from having 36K net positions all the way up to having minus 15K net positions. So an increase in the short-term strength of the pound. In fact, we had 17K shorts closed in total with almost actually more than 2K longs added. So thousands of shorts getting closed and thousands of longs getting opened. So that is as well why we definitely wanted to see the completion of the information on the daily, as we had said in our previous analysis. But if you look at the long term, we went from the positive 35K that we had here all the way down to minus 15K. So from having way more longs than shorts from an institutional perspective on the pound to having way more shorts than longs. So in the long term, we can expect a pound weakness, and that combines pretty well with the fact that overall we are below all resistance. So the way in which we will be approaching GBP USD is, if inside of this area from a 4-hour perspective, because always remember, monthly, weekly, and daily are for direction. The 4-hour is for entry. If inside of this area we will see the market provide to us one of our valid entries, then we will be taking a nice short with a good risk to reward and good probabilities for the move to the downside, creation of the impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside, and creation of a lower low. On the other side, if everything will just start exploding to the upside, then obviously this area will break again to the upside. We will have the creation of this W formation, and then we will be looking first for a retracement and then for the continuation to the upside. But at the moment, since we are below the resistance, we will be looking for potential shorting opportunity with students if the market will provide to us one of our valid entries. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.